Welcome everyone. Thanks for all of you for being on time and for allowing us to just catch up for a minute while we let the ones that weren't on time join us. Just kidding, kind of. Yeah. Okay, so yesterday we had our RMD call, which was fantastic. It's our regional marketing director, so kind of top leaders in the industry or in Jody's team, and we have that call the first Monday of every month. And I always get a lot from that. So we'll talk a little bit today about that conversation that we had yesterday. But a couple of things that I want to remind you of. So first and foremost, we are having a holiday party, a Christmas party in Atlanta, in Alpharetta, at our home office on Tuesday, December 16th. It is from 6 to 9. And I found out yesterday, this is actually going to be really fun. Jordan, Jody's son Jordan, if you don't know him, he obviously is Jordan Humphrey, but on his
Spotify, he's Jordan James.
He's Jordan James, right? On his recording contracts and things like that. So Jordan will be there and he's going to sing a little concert for us on Tuesday night. And then afterwards, we're all going to have a little crazy karaoke. So that's going to be horrible and fun. But that's what we're doing on December 16th. It is an invite everyone you know, right? Because we're not going to have a formal business conversation, but they are going to see who we are and they are going to see our home office and they are going to get the best of the best and they'll get a little entertainment and appetizers and stuff there as well. So definitely invite to that. If you want to replicate the funnel, I can show you how to do that at another time, and we can put that back there for you guys to send out on your social media. But even if you aren't in Atlanta, even if you can't come to Atlanta and you know people in Atlanta, invite them. Just say, hey, I'd love for you to meet some people, and then let me know. Zach and I will be there. Jamie, I hope you're going to be there. You coming?
No, well, Madison has her wisdom teeth.
Is this the 17th, isn't it? Come on.
We have to literally be here 8 a.m. the next day.
I mean,
Kids.
all these excuses. I'm just kidding. Well, we will definitely do it again. So, but that's going to be fun. So I want as many of you guys that can be there to be there. I know Elaine's going to be there and Bonnie's going to be there. And I'm looking on the screen. Debbie's going to be there. So a lot of people are going to be there. So excited about that. Also in January 6th and 7th. Is that right? Let me look and see. 6th, 7th, 8th is Top Gun, right? In Orlando. If you haven't registered, register. It's December already. You know you're going. It's a New Year's kickoff. We only have 2 events per year as a company, right? For our entire company. It's January and July typically for Orlando and Vegas. And at these events, you're going to hear from all of the top leadership and how they're building their business, how they're building their teams. But you're also going to hear from every single product provider that we have and that we have access to. And those are going to be the ones where you really make connections and have conversations with those people. So when you call them later and say, hey, help me with this, or tell me how this works, or whatever, they put a face to the name. And I promise you, you guys have been in sales long enough to know that if they know who you are when they answer their phone, they answer it differently, right? So be there, say hello, put your best foot forward. And obviously we're here to build a business anyway, right? We're not here just to sell a few insurance policies. And if you are, we still love you too. But building a business, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, the building a business part, there's a whole lot of conversation.
I mean, about Top Gun, and then we'll talk about building a business.
I mean, it's a fantastic excuse to go to Orlando in January. If you got kids, take them, go to Disney. Add that on either side. You can make up some excuse about
Or leave them and don't go to Disney.
Yeah, whatever. It's a great spot. I think we're in the same location that we've been in for the last few years. So the hotel's great. The amenities are great. The training is always great. If our Hawaii trip and Hubert's state of mind while he was in Hawaii is any indicator of the level of training and experience that Top Gun will be, it's going to be a not to miss meeting. There's a lot of things that are going on, obviously, things that apply to some of you, but also don't apply to all of you. The final stock is coming out, the evaluation, all that kind of stuff. Probably those announcements are going to be official in Top Gun. So That's when you'll see all the people that get those big checks again, like they did last time. That's a big
I'm
deal.
waiting on my millions.
That's a big deal for the company across the board. For you that are telling the story of HGI, it's a big deal for you to understand what that means. And for those of you that have intentions to build an organization, understanding how that managing partner program works and how you can not just go out and fumble through and try to build your own agency on your own, but you already have a pre-built back office. You already have all those things here. You just got to worry about getting that production to a certain level where it has value. And then Integrity has a great program where they'll come in and they'll buy you out altogether, or they'll come in and they'll buy you out partially and leave you in place to continue to make an income as well. So for a lot of people that haven't built something for themselves yet, they don't have an equity play or any understanding of how to go build a business from scratch. This gives the average person that opportunity by following a system that's already in place and ready made. So and for the above average, like all of you on the screen, it just gives you that much more of a
That's so good.
of an opportunity, because it really is one of the only ways that I can come up with in my brain, so somebody can go from zero to $1 million earner and have an income stream into perpetuity, in retirement from, I'm 50. So not that I'm at zero, but if I were, I've got friends that are retiring from other things, or that are, frustrated, that have been in a career for 20 years now, 30 years, and they're not happy about it. And we're doing their plans. We're revisiting everything. And they're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And I'm like, guess what? I do. So good stuff at Top Gun. If you guys have questions about all the way those things work and how to articulate it, you're going to hear it from multiple different people. So long story short, don't miss it. Get booked, clear your calendars, and you really want people there with you. So if you're here,
so I was going to talk about our contest.
Okay,
you can say that.
I was just going to say, if you're here and you're new, I know some of you are on our team and you're brand new. So and you don't have people in your organization yet, you want to get a few and then get them there, because that really more than a Zoom on a Tuesday morning, or even the 16th at the home office, that's going to show the grandeur of what we've got going on here. You're going to see some of the top-notch financial services companies in the world catering to our company and to our organization. You're going to see firsthand what kind of an operation we have, and that Hubert didn't do this by accident the last two times. And like Jody said yesterday, his dad said he didn't want this to be his third company. He wanted this to be his best company, and that's the mark that we're trying to leave right now. So yeah. Anyway, I could go on and on, dropping little taglines and whatever else.
Well, I that gave me chills when he said that yesterday. If anybody, some of you know Hubert, some of you don't. You'll meet him throughout your career here. He's fantastic. He's amazing. But he has built two multi-billion-dollar companies that have been in existence for the last 20 and 40 years, right? That's a big deal to say that he wants this to be his best, not his third. So that gave me chills yesterday. So let's talk about a contest just really, really quickly. For Top Gun, so it's just a quick, short 1-month contest. Yesterday is the start and the end of December is the finish. But contest is for money. Got to be present to win, right? Got to be in Orlando so I can actually count hundreds in your hand, because if not, it's no fun, and it kind of defeats the purpose. But the person, any of you, all of you, when you get 10 personal recruits, 10 personal to you this month, we will give you $500 bonus at Top Gun. So basically it pays for the majority of your event, right? When you get 10 on your team, so if they're not all direct to you, and I'll explain that in just a second, we'll give you a $250 bonus. So what does that mean? Gail has a pretty big team, right? So when Gail gets 10 personal to her, 10 people that Gail hires this month, she gets a $500 bonus. When her team cumulatively gets 10 people this month, she'll get a $250 bonus. If she does both, when she does both, because you guys know I don't like if, right? That'll be $750 that'll pay for you. So all of you guys have the ability to compete in that contest, whether you're solo by yourself or you got a couple of people that can throw in with you. I think it's huge. I think it's great. Also, I think, because Angela told me this, I think that the Top Gun Hotel is sold out. Maybe not for the entire time, but at least for some of those dates. Gail, you're not staying at the Top Gun Hotel, are you? Where are you staying? Are you at that hotel, Gail, or are you somewhere close?
No, I'm actually staying. I want to say I'm staying at a Holiday Inn. I think Sheila and I are both, yeah,
Okay.
staying at a Holiday Inn
So just
nearby.
know, even if you can't be in that host hotel, it's Orlando, right? Kissimmee, I think. There are plenty of hotels or Airbnbs or things like that around there. The purpose is for you to get there. If you guys want to bunk up, get a house together, whatever, I don't care. Just get there, be there, and be serious about your business. And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about now. You saw my post in WhatsApp, I'm assuming, and I also put it on my story yesterday. It's less about Elon Musk and all of his money and more about the reality that you're not going to save your way to wealth. Period. I hate it. I hate to be the spoiler alert if you guys didn't know that now. But also, your clients aren't going to save their way to retirement. It is not possible for most people to put enough money away because they don't start in time, right? They don't start in their 20s, they start in their 40s or their 50s, and they're like, shoot, I got to do this. There are no pensions for most people anymore. So the reality is they are not going to save their way to retirement. Not even wealth, right? But to retirement. Most wealth is created through equity, through ownership, which is what we talk about, obviously, with HGI. But what they can do is they can create income streams that will pay them through retirement, which is the same as having a big old bucket of money that's going to be depleted, right? So obviously, there are a million different traditional ways to create income streams, like Airbnbs, right? That's a big popular one right now. I'll go buy a home, I put it in Orlando, and I rent it out like all the other people in Orlando. And I have an income stream coming in from that I don't have to show up from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday to work to make it pay me, right? That is an income stream. But you also here have the ability to build a business, right? You have the ability to build a business from day one. It doesn't matter if you're new or old or starting or restarting or it doesn't matter, right? You have the ability to build a business from day one. If you just want to sell, that's fine. You'll make plenty of money. But when you stop selling, I have a couple of realtors on here. If you don't sell a house, you don't make any money, right? In the sales world, that is the way it is. In the mortgage world, you guys know I do mortgages. And if I don't close a mortgage, I don't get paid on mortgages, right? In the traditional financial services world, if I don't sell an insurance policy or close an annuity or move somebody's money, I don't get paid. But in our business, because we create businesses and we teach people how to create businesses, you can create an income stream that does not rely solely on you. And I want you guys to know that and to remember that and to understand that's what we're here for, right? We're all here for that greater picture of one day I don't want to have to sell anymore. I'd love to just teach all of you guys how to sell. Shout out to Stuart. He was our top earner this month. Woo-hoo. Great job, Stuart. Super proud of you. While I say that, as far
I'm going to be
as
your top earner next month too.
oh yay, I like it.
Well, I've got a $17,000 policy on top of a $400 premium term.
Yeah, well, I know what Gail's got in, so maybe you will, but
Look at you, Gail. Okay.
Okay,
Gail.
It's on, Stuart.
and
Square up.
Jamie's brand new, but I know her market, so I'm pretty bullish on her and what she's got going on over in her world too. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but I like a little friendly competition. But it's about building a business, right? It's about having everything that you do in this world is not just what can you do for yourself, but it's also what can you do for others. And helping people with their financial plan is super noble. It is definitely what we're helping others do, but also teaching people that it is possible. You guys know our story. We were school teachers. Without this opportunity, we'd probably be principals or superintendents or something like that, right? We'd still still be in that world, and that would have been a fine world, but we wouldn't have controlled our life and controlled our income and controlled, our kids' experiences. We wouldn't have had the time to make all those things happen. So when we put out recruiting contests, we're putting out recruiting contests because we want you to grow your team. We want you to share this opportunity. We want you to share this experience and this environment and this excitement to everyone out there.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a business, and let's talk about business in general, when you want to grow, build, have value, whatever, that is valuable to somebody else down the road. So a lot of people talk about exit strategies, those kind of things. But one step before an exit strategy is not getting out of it, but how do I build something that pays me? Where can I put, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, because you're not going to get to the top of anything or successful in anything by putting in a little bit of effort. But where can I put in the least amount of money, the least amount of effort, and have the biggest impact? That's what I want to see. Where can I scale something, right? So what I want you to understand about this business is what you're looking for every day when you go out. You're not looking for people that need insurance. You're not looking for people that need planning. You will run across them as you look for people that want to build a business. Because that's the business we're in. And I always say this, that's kind of the Achilles heel, if you will, of our business, is you can make a lot of money just selling the product. And so a lot of people that get involved,
and you don't make any money if you don't sell products.
Right. There's no, this is not an MLM type thing where you buy a kit when you sign up and you can make commission off of recruiting people. It doesn't work that way. It's a structure that allows you to build an agency and to override that agency without having to pay for your own commissions department, without having to go out and get all the contracts with all the carriers, all that kind of crap that you get stuck in the minutia. We've been down that road. When our first company where we met Gail, when that company went away back in 2000, whatever, and that we were mortgage heavy and the real estate collapsed. Some of you remember that all too vividly. That company went away. And Kimberly and I had a large team in multiple states, and we did our own thing. But we had to go out and find the contracts. We had to go out and talk to the insurance companies. We had to find the broker dealer and negotiate our payouts. We had to do all those kind of things that you don't have to do. And that's what I love about Hubert's companies that he's built, is that anybody that's built a business within one of his organizations and stayed there, they've not been forced to leave. They've not had to go somewhere else because the company imploded. They've all sold to multi-billion-dollar organizations, and the people that stayed in there and that built a team continue to make money, and their teams have value. Their code numbers are an entity of their own, and he's done that for us here again. But this time, he's not giving up control. That's been the one thing that's been different all the way around. So what I want you guys to think about is, as you go out in your daily, working in your world, right? Whatever it is, if this is an add-on to your already existing business, or if you're fully employed and you've got to be at work from 9 to 5, whatever that is, remember what you're looking for. You're looking for leaders. You're looking for people that want to build something, that have a desire to create that freedom for themselves. You're not looking for clients. You're looking for leaders. Clients will happen, right? If you understand our system, it is, and I always refer to it as kind of like the Mr. Miyagi method, right? Where you sand the floor, you paint the fence, you wax the car, and all of a sudden you're a karate master, right? If you just take off all the thoughts and get dumb, like Stuart, we talked about this, be dumb enough to do what was it you said a couple weeks ago?
Smart enough to be dumb enough to just do what you're told.
That's it. Smart enough to be dumb enough to just do it. And that's the system that we have. It's not about being dumb. It takes a really intelligent person to go, okay, it works. It's worked for 40 years. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to remove all of my doubt and all of my overcoming objections and all that kind of stuff, and just go forward and do it. That's the only way we can guarantee your success. There are a lot of people, like I said earlier, that are extraordinary, that have gifts and talents, and that, the gift of gab can talk about anything, but it's not required. So why make your business have to work around that? Why make it where you have to hire people that have extraordinary talents? Just do it the easy way. Plug them in, run it, and go and see how that works. But that's great. When the income's coming in, you have teams that are built. That's stability. right? When I don't have to sell every single day to know that I'm going to get paid because we have an organization, we have a team. I need to be here and present and involved, but I don't have to actually close a sale. So that's why we want to build a team. If you think about it from the McDonald's standpoint, right? Ray Kroc didn't go out and try to sell more cheeseburgers. He didn't go out and talk about how great the French fries were. He went out and talked about how great the business opportunity was. That was his whole thing, was to find entrepreneurial minded people that wanted to do what he was doing, that wanted to join in that system. And that system has not changed, right? It's gotten a little more automated, those kind of things. Some of the ingredients have gone, south a little bit, but the system of how it's produced has not changed. It's not about how many burgers we can sell. It's about how many outlets we can have selling burgers. People will come and buy the burgers.
So I'm going to pull up our possibility income calculator because we haven't done this in a while. But I want to remind you guys how good you have it, right? And what your opportunity is. And you will have people that come here to work with us because they really just want to sell one policy a month. And that's okay. We want every single person like that. But we also want the leaders who have the vision that they want something big for themselves. They want something big for their family, something big for their lives. And we want everybody in between. So let's start at the beginning, right? Once you come here and you come to work with us, if my clicker will work, and why is it not working? Oh, there you go. And you're out of training. You start out at the 45% contract level, right? If we look at a traditional sale of a life commissionable premium of $3,600, that means they're putting $300 a month away into a life insurance policy, which is very, very, very realistic. Some people put significantly more, but even if we're talking about a husband and a wife, that's going to be an average, term sale between two of them. So going out and closing, and I'm going to do it monthly because most people know their income on a monthly basis. I don't know why it's not working.
Just go up.
Do I do something here?
No,
Auto save turned off. Okay, great.
go over and just click on the down arrow instead of that.
Thank you. Okay, so most people know their income monthly, so I'm going to look at it monthly. But when I look at this, if I go out and I'm talking to people just about making extra money, right? Hold on, I'm messing me up for y'all. Can y'all still see my screen?
They can.
Okay, good. I'm moving you all around on my screen. I can't quite figure it out. But if you go out there and you talk to people and they're like, hey, I want to do this, but I just want to make.
Click there. You got to go down here. There you go.
Thank you. Where did my people go?
I'm
going to do it again just because I can't see you. Okay, whatever. We're back. But you have someone and they really just want to make part-time income. They're doing this because they need to bridge that gap. That was our story when we first started. We needed to pay for daycare, right? We needed to have that extra money coming in. But you have plenty of people that drive for Uber because they want to make extra money. You have plenty of people that do Uber Eats and things like that. It's the holidays, so you see a lot of temporary employment at your retail stores, things like that, because they want to make extra money for the holidays. If they come here and they close one sale per month, that's going to be an extra $1,600 a month in their pocket at the beginning contract level. That is huge. That is significant. That is retirement income money. That's why I tell people all the time, you will not save your way to retirement, but you can create income streams where you will make enough to supplement your retirement, right? If I'm $3,000 a month short on my retirement need, you think I can sell 2 life insurance policies a month at the beginning contract level? Absolutely, all day long. But I want to show you guys, once you reach our RMD position, which is the agency contract level, right? Our top contract level. And I want to show you, let's assume you're doing nothing. You will be because you're going to lead by example, but let's just show you what it looks like to build a team. If you have one person in your organization, in your agency, on your team, and they're closing 1 sale per week, which is obviously 4 sales per month, and I put a 4 in here, you're making an extra $3,000 a month. That is a big deal. Just in your override. That is not your work. That is their work. And they're making $1,600, $3,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, whatever their contract level is paying them. You're being paid this because you brought them on into the business and you've mentored them and trained them to get them to the level that they are now. So the model here is if you find 5 people that want to go out and make extra income, whether they want to go crazy with it or not, but they just want to close 1 sale per week, which is 20 sales per month going through your organization, through your code number, you're making an extra $14,000 a month. Most people aren't making $14,000 a month. And this is without you actually selling a policy, right? Because you've already done your job. You're just out there teaching and training. When you lead by example, because that's what good leaders do, and you're closing your 1 sale a week as well, you've got a $300,000 a year income stream. So when we talk about being able to make significant money here, you can make significant money here, like truly, really significant money here with a small organization. We don't need thousands of people selling thousands of products to make $1 million. It'd be nice, right? And if we talk about the 80-20 rule, we got a lot more people on our team than we have on this call, right? Some life situations, work, things like that, and some just because that's their choice. And this is a volunteer army, so we'll take them when we can get them, and we just keep going. We just keep building. And that's one of the things that we said yesterday. It is going to happen. I promise you. It always does. It always has. It is going to happen. This business is going to explode. We're all going to be multimillionaires. The question is, are you going to be part of it at that point in time? Is it going to happen to you? Are you going to stay here long enough, do the work, do what needs to be done to make that happen?
And honestly, the real question, and this is for a lot of people, and we've seen it in Aki's team for sure. If you know who he is, he's our top earner. I know that he's over.
Share another one too in a second.
He's over 10 million a year now, probably be 12 million this year. Personal income, that 98% of that, as he's told me, he's told people from the front of the room, comes from override. It doesn't come from personal pen production. He's got 5 top leaders. He's got 5 true builders that built a business. A lot of people are in this $300,000 range part-time. Mm-hmm. Most of his team is on an H-1B visa status where they have to maintain their IT job to stay in the country because that's sponsored by their, I mean, it's insane to think about. But when you look at the numbers, you and, what is it, 5 people?
Yeah.
You and 5 people can produce that kind of an income for you. That means each one of those 5 people are making $150,000 a year if they're just closing 1 sale a week. I mean, it's not hard. The math is ridiculous. I mean, it literally, every time I pull this calculator up and we put it in, I'm like, that's so simple. It's so like no brainer. And this is not a big sale. I mean, you'll hear people talking about, like Stuart talking about, a $17,000 commissionable premium sale. You're talking about Gail's got some big stuff going on. I know we've got some personal clients that we're revisiting and that we're working with, and some of them are getting divorced and we're splitting the assets we helped them grow. I mean, it's like crazy stuff that you deal with, but at the same time, those are big sales. But this is not. This is protecting an average family in their 40s with term insurance.
I want to take it one step further. This is what and I want you to think about it in traditional terms, right? And I always use State Farm when I'm talking to people because it's something that everybody knows, brand recognition, right? Like you can picture the local State Farm office in your area. So think about this as your State Farm office. This is your agency. This is your brick and mortar store, right? And then think about how many other State Farm offices there are around and pretend like they're part of one organization. So here, this is your store. This is your office. This is your agency. This is a team that you've built. But in our world, I know that Gail wants to beat me. I hope Gail wants to beat me. I hope she wants to make a hell of a lot more money than I do, right? I want her to be better than me. I know that Jamie wants to be at a higher contract level than me. I know Stuart does the same. I know Angela does. I could name all of your names on here. I know that that's what we want. And in our world, in the traditional world, I can't let that happen, right? Because if I give Gail my same contract level, then I make no money. Well, I'm not in this business to make no money. I'm not into pouring my heart and soul and brain and effort into someone, teaching them everything they know and having them leave me because I can't keep them because I can't give them the compensation they deserve. In our world, Gail can outgrow me. She can have more money than me, a bigger business than me, but I'm still always going to be incentivized to build her, to lead her, to teach her, and to pour everything I have in her. Because once she goes out of my little brick and mortar here and she opens hers down the road, not literally, you don't have to actually have an office, but conceptually, right, you get that. Then she leaves my base shop. So let's just take it out of here. She leaves my little brick and mortar and she opens her own, because that's the dream. We all want to have our own little shop, our own little store. We want our name on the sign outside, right? So when Gail does that, she becomes my first generation, because now she's equal to me, right? She is equal to me in contract level. But allowing her to go out and open her own organization, her own office outside of me, I am still making 15% off of everything she does for the rest of her career on her entire organization. So I'm still bringing in, if she's closing 24 sales a month in her office, like I'm doing in mine, I'm still making almost $14,000 a month. And Gail's independent of me. She doesn't need me anymore. She might want me to come in and take him to dinner, and I will. Or she might want me to come in and, say good job, kudos, things like that, right? But she doesn't need me to run her business every single day. So when you add that,
I just wanted to show something real quick.
when you add that to, what are you showing?
That question comes up a lot when we talk about overrides and spreads and whatever else. I want you to see the difference. We have an average override at 20% here, and so Kimberly had 20 sales coming out of our base. So let's say our entire base is in Gail's team, and she gets promoted. How much we lose, right? 20 there, so you got $25,000 a month coming in with us doing our 4, and that let's say that's Gail's whole team. It goes from 25,000 to 22,752. So when people say your income, I'm building my competition. That's the problem with State Farm, is that when somebody leaves or
any traditional
agency, whether it's in the real estate business, every single. It's my daughter whose gas is off in the mountains. So, but every single person that leaves, their business becomes their immediate competition. So no longer am I going to go to dinner and support their business and have that kind of a network, have that kind of a thing. But that person also now has to go out and get that back office help. They have to assume all of the expenses of payroll and hiring people to actually, the people in the State Farm office are all licensed that are sitting in there because they have to be to write the policies.
But State Farm.
They're getting paid nothing. The only person making the money is the person whose name is above the front door, and they have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to keep that business in operation. Our overhead here is zero. It's reinvesting into your people. It's travel, it's time, those kind of things. I don't have a payroll for my business. And it's really kind of funny when you look at it at tax time, because we're doing end of the year and everything else, and you look at the money that's come in. And yeah, you want write-offs, and we have those, and you want to make sure you understand how that works, but not the traditional ones. I don't have a large payroll that I have to write off. I've got to figure out other ways and other businesses to invest in and other things like that. There's not a model out there that can touch this, especially when you talk about the simplicity of the sale. Yeah, real estate's a fantastic with high commissions. There's but the ebb and flow of that market. It's hard to sell a house sometimes, right? It's hard to qualify for a mortgage. There's a lot of big processes to go into that.
Sales job, right? And any.
But I can sit down with a family, show them the dime, explain to them how much life insurance that they need, write 2 policies that total a $300 a month premium going out, and I can create a $300,000 a year income for myself by just having 5 other people that are doing the same thing. I mean, I've joined companies, I've joined visions that other people have given from the stage, whether it be Amway or whether it be any number of things, where I knew going in to make $100,000 a year, I had to have 1,000 people on my team, and I knew I was going to do it. But that was the focus. Was I knew I had to get to that. No, but I had to get to that number of people to get the income that I wanted, and that was the focus of those organizations. I think if we take that focus and we turn it here, that's what I wanted to explain to you about those sales on a monthly basis, those 4. If you understand what a recruit means and how that works, and how that translates back into sales. One recruit, and if anybody's been around long enough, should equal how many sales? Anybody want to unmute and tell me?
One recruit should equal 4, 1 for the recruit, and then there are 3 people.
4.
Everybody that comes in, thank you, Stuart. That's exactly right. Everybody that comes in needs to get their own personal house in order. It's part of our steps, right? So
Part of our system.
part of our system. There's no purchase required, but guess what? Most people that are trying to get their house in order and want to make extra money need the products that we offer. So we're going to take care of their plan. And then we're going to help them with find 3 people. We're going to help them with that 3-3-30 process. So if I want 4 sales, 1 a week in my organization, all I got to do is get 1 recruit a month. So now let's simplify that $300,000 income down from, instead of me trying to find 4 people to close every month, I'm just finding 1 person that wants to get their own house in order and wants to start building a business. 1 a month. If you get 10 a month, like our contest is, I'm telling you right now that 10 in the base is a magic number. I don't think anybody can consistently get 10 recruits in their base shop and not make over $300,000 a year. It just can't, unless all they do is sign them up. If you're not doing the rest of the process, they're not just going to pop out commission. But if you just do 1, start where you are, right? One of the best, 5 books that a lot of people recommend is this one Kimberly's talked about, called Atomic Habits. And the thing that they say is just get better by a little bit.
1%.
1% a day. And you'll see that adds up, right? You'll be 100% better after 100 days. So just understand how simple this is. Don't make it complicated. Don't think about, man, I want to make $12 million a year, but I got to have a whole room full of people at Top Gun. No. What do you want to make this year?
If you want to make $12 million a year, you got to start with making $1.
Yeah.
1,000, right? You still got to start. And that's,
I'm going to check with her because that's what she's doing.
that's what she's truly fun. You can just text her and tell her you're going to call. Children. Okay, so another thing that I want you guys to think about right now is December, right? It's the Christmas season. It's the holiday spirit. You guys are snowed in some places, and everybody feels like they're winding down the year. This is where winners win. Because instead of winding down in December and slowing down and stopping what we're doing, if we put the pedal to the metal, right, and just go crazy with our focus and our effort, our January will not be slow. Our January will be explosive. And I think that's the problem that a lot of people have, is that they do nothing in December, and then January, February, they're trying to start again, right? If we don't take our foot off the gas and we just literally go through December as if it's January, as if it's the first of the year, as if we've got our New Year's resolutions and go, our January will be so far ahead of everybody else. So I want you guys to think about that. And one of the things that I want you to do, and I really want you to do this, I'm going to commit to doing it. I hope, did you guys see my influencer status on Facebook? I got a badge. I was so excited. They're like, you're an up and coming whatever. I'm like, yay.
up and coming content creator, something like that.
And I get my if you've seen Raphael walk around with his little stick camera that follows him everywhere, it comes today. You're gonna see me on social media always. But ultimately, and Herson, you guys know that I'm a super fan of his. He just posted yesterday on his Instagram his success, right? He's been in our business for, I think he said yesterday, 12 months, 13 months is when he first started. And I don't know if all of you guys can see it, but in November, he had $292,430 of commissions paid through his organization. That is huge. He had over 12 people make his lowest of the 12 made $8,700 last month. Like, that's a big deal when you're talking about people that haven't been in this industry very long. They're just going out, they're getting started, and they're making it happen every single day. But one of the things that he says is obviously content's king. So you will see him, unfortunately I don't speak Spanish yet, but you'll see him all the time, right? Talking and saying all that stuff. Raphael too, Rory as well, like all of those people. So Stuart said yesterday he was going to create a YouTube. So just start talking to people online. It just happens. But what I want you guys to do, and what I'm committed to do for myself. So there's this magical book called Think and Grow Rich. How many of you guys have heard of it? How many of you guys have read it?
I don't think I
Okay.
read it. Like if I did, it was 20 plus years ago.
Okay. Well, I say let's have a little book club. And I'm not going to have a book club that we have to get on and talk about because if you don't know me, I'd do that really well for about 2 or 3 weeks and then I would fail because that is who I am. But let's just say in January or now. Well, I'll wait till January.
Your words have power. You're just telling yourself you're
I
going to
know.
fail.
Well, I'm not going to fail on reading it. I was just mean hosting a book club. So, that's a book that I'm going to pick up and reread because I've read it. I don't know that I've actually ever read it cover to cover. I've read big sections of it at the time, but it's time to reread it. Somebody I was watching the other day, they carry it around, super successful person. They carry around a hardback version with them and they literally read some of it every single day. But if you ask any entrepreneur out there, one of their top 5 books always is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? And it's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about just creating your reality because ultimately we do, right? If I want something to happen, by God, it's going to happen. I promise you, right? Same with every single one of you on the screen. If you want something bad enough, you're going to get it, period, right? So that's what Think and Grow Rich is about, is how do we make it happen? And a lot of that is just training our subconscious mind to believe it. Raphael said yesterday, one of the things that he's been doing, Hubert and Mauricio did a podcast for about a couple of years ago, and he's been listening to those sessions. And one of the most recent ones was about a paradigm shift. And he said, I know that I have to push myself out of my comfort zone literally every single day because if I don't, then I'm going to stay exactly where I am. And he said, so I'm pushing myself to have these paradigm shifts, right? And he said, it's really uncomfortable, but I'm pushing myself to do so. That's what I want to do, right? With Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill and talking about our subconscious mind, brainwashing ourselves, because if not, somebody else is going to tell us what's possible and what isn't possible. I promise you. If you have a big idea or you think you're going to make $10 million a year or $1 million a year, right? And you go out and tell 10 of your friends, 9.5 of them are going to tell you that you're psycho and that you drank some Kool-Aid somewhere and it's never going to happen because that's the world that we live in, right? So we have to push through that mindset. But one of the things that he says is to write down your goals and your dreams as if they've already happened. And he's got a very calculated formula with what that needs to be, right? A very clear, concise mental picture. But he also says to read it every morning and every afternoon or every evening as if it's already happened. And basically, I mean, you guys, I'm sure it's flooded in your newsfeed. If not, come look at mine because it's flooded in my newsfeed. But manifestation and positive thoughts and, all the stuff, that law of attraction and the things that we see, but especially this time of year, right? Going into holidays, what we're thankful for, going into January, what we're going to change. I'm going to join a gym again, right? Okay, let's just see how that works. But all of those different things. So I don't know why, but I have never, Zach has, and I'll let him end with this story, but I've never actually read my goals every single morning and every single evening as if they've already happened. I've written them down a couple of times and I've done vision boards and, things like that come true. But for whatever reason, it's just this simple thing that, what if it works? What if it works? Why would we not write it down and read it and dare it not to work? Why would we not? So I'll let Zach tell you his Think and Grow Rich and Focal Point story really quickly. Sandra, did you want to say something first?
Yeah, I think the book club will be a fantastic idea. It's difficult for the top leaders to manage that because you guys have so much, but we just read the book from John Maxwell in our Spanish book club because we do it at 7 o'clock in the morning every day, just for half an hour. We used to do it for an hour, but it took a lot of the time, and there was a lot of we always, like, after they read the 30 minutes, people will come and comment about the leadership or whatever they were talking in the book that will be related to the business. And it's so good to that because we have signed up people because there's a book club. This week, and a guy named Sandro My name, but in English, as a man,
Mhm.
he's like, I saw Sandra commenting, I saw all the other people commenting. So it would be good for, in the book it said that there's the medium leaders, right? And medium leaders are the ones that in our book club take care of that. So if somebody is willing to do the 7 o'clock in the morning, it won't be on you, because we know you're super busy, that you have your family and stuff like that. But there's people that wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and 7 for them is like midday.
I'm looking
So,
at Gail. I'm like, you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
but there's people that wake up in California to listen to the book in our Spanish club. There's people in Texas that wake up and study
And you
and
guys are
listen to the book.
literally
So,
reading for 30 minutes. Someone's
and we
reading.
read for 30 minutes. Yes, we read for 30 minutes. And after the 30 minutes, we say, okay, it's 7:32. What did you guys learn that will be good for our business? And then something will come up and the book that we were reading right now, it was super awesome because it was about leadership. And that's what we teach in AGI. The book is called John Maxwell 360 Leaders.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. So it was really good because it was a lot of the things that we already know from LFS, but you hear it from somebody else and you're like, oh, they're also talking about it. So it is really good. We invite people that have not come into HGI to listen to the book club in the morning. People like book clubs.
They do.
And for instance, I'm dyslexic. I wouldn't be a good person to read in that because I read funny. But for me, when they read to me, it's just so fantastic because I like to listen people reading to me to take a book and listen and open a book. I only do audible books. I only listen to books in general. So
And Jamie
it is
just
a very,
texted and said Audible is $1 right now on Amazon, right, Jamie? Is that what you said?
Yeah, for like 3 months or
Yeah.
something, it's $1, the Black Friday deal.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic
I mean,
because I think I have like 80 books in there already. But it's really, really a good idea if somebody in the medium leadership in here can say, hey, I can do.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it keeps people focused, right? So that's the reason that you would have an organization or time frame like that. And we don't have to talk about setting that up as a permanent structure or anything like that. I know a lot of people are busy and adding things into their schedule might not be what you want to do like that. But what we do want to do is have you. We want to read. We want, whether it's Audible, whether it's you get the audio book, whether you sit down with a paper copy and you read it. And then occasionally we'll talk about what we've talked about or what we've read and how that applies, just like Sandra was talking about. How does that apply to what we do? But I will tell you that one of the things, like Kimberly said, that Napoleon Hill's number one thing is have a definite major purpose. What are you trying to accomplish, right? Have a plan for its attainment and then take immediate action. Those are the three. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a plan, and then you have to act immediately. You can't wait. This fixing to, like we have all over the South, is not helping you get anywhere. So what Kimberly was referring to about writing down your goals, reading them morning and night, I think one of the reasons a lot of people don't do that in this business is the same reason they don't build multi-million-dollar hierarchies, because they get to a level of income fairly easily when they focus just a little bit, and then they become comfortable. I mean, most people, if they got to a $300,000 a year income, would be more comfortable than they were when they started. Right? That's not an average income. That's now that's something that's hard to attain. But what I did in our previous organization was we did this whole practice, had this whole thing, and I had had the old fashioned wallet with the clear place where the driver's license fit there. And my mom, in her thoughtful nature, gave Kimberly a laminator for Christmas here. One of these things that you turn on, it gets hot. And
Thank you for thinking of
that
me.
was a time in our business where we made these things for our team to carry around. This is pre-iPad, pre-slideshow, all that
This
kind of
is when
stuff.
you had the perforated business cards that you print out on the printer and like tear them out. You know?
Oh yeah, but we also made we had a 15-minute presentation and we made laminated copies of all those things so that people could write on them with their dry erase markers and all that. So I won't go into all that, but we needed a laminator. So that's what we got. So what I did was I took my goals, typed them out in the present sense. I had a goal for the end of the year. We wanted to be the top producing team. We wanted to be the MVPs at our national conference. And I knew where we fell in that, but that didn't really matter. I knew what I wanted our team to look like, what we wanted to do. And I wrote them all down and I said, it is, let's just say, for example, it's Top Gun. Today's January 7th. I'm so excited that we're landing in Orlando. And we have 30 people coming with us, and I still can't believe that out of those 30 people, half of them are making $100,000 a year, the other half are making 50. It's just so exciting to see how our business has grown. I can't wait for the announcement at the awards night when we get recognized as MVPs and we get to go to the front of the room. That's how the goal was written, and it was written 6 months in advance, right? With that being and I will tell you right now, methodically, morning and night, and even more often, whenever I open my wallet, I put it right in that little clear spot where my driver's license or ID would be. So every time I got my wallet out, I saw it. And then when I saw it, I made it a point to read it. So I probably read it more than twice a day. And in that process, I didn't necessarily think I was doing anything differently other than reading my goals. I didn't necessarily say, all right, I'm going to read my goals and I'm going to contact 5 people and I went on running up my business, but because I was keeping my goals right in front of me on a regular daily basis, it wasn't miraculous, but I laugh about it because we went to the national conference. We did have the number of growth that we had on our team. We did have the production that we wanted to have. A lot of successful people that are still in the industry today were brought into our business during that time frame and stayed in the industry, whether they're with us or not. They changed their lives because we focused on goals. It kept us engaged. So I can't tell you that I went out and saw 5 people a day. Yeah, when we had 5 business cards in the pocket, you had to give them out before you could go home. We had a lot of those things that we focused on, but I focused on reading those goals, staying intentional, and that kept my mind, both subconscious and conscious, going in the direction that I wanted to go in, not worried about all the things that might happen or all the what ifs, right? There's a Kane Brown song called What Ifs. It's pretty funny. But it's like a relationship song trying to talk to his.
If you don't know, Zach's brain is a musical.
I didn't worry about the what ifs. I worried about where I wanted to go. And that applies across all aspects of life. My dad's an avid whitewater boater, world champion, all those kind of things. And his number one rule is you don't look at the rock because that's where you're going to go. You go where you look. You want to look at the water you want to hit. You want to look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. Because wherever you focus your attention is where you're going to end up. So if you focus your attention on the what ifs, guess what's going to happen? The what ifs. If you focus your attention on the where you want to go and how you want to get there, you just keep focused on the good stuff, and that's where you'll end up. So it's not, I don't know, it's not whiz bang magical stuff. It's just about your focus and your intention. And reading the goals every day doesn't make them magically appear. It keeps you focused. And that's why it's important, because if you don't have that little piece of tweak, then you'll get caught up in life. You'll get caught up in the distractions of everything that's going on.
So that's my challenge to you guys for this week is write down those goals. Google Napoleon Hill and the format of those goals, or ChatGPT it or whatever. I'll post it in our WhatsApp group, but write your goals and just write them through Top Gun. Just take a moment and just write a short-term goal and put that there, right? And read that every morning and every evening and see what happens. Challenge it, see if it works, right? Prove them wrong, and we'll go from there. But if you haven't registered for Top Gun, please do. I need to know how many people are going from our team so I can plan some special things. The company needs to know how many people are going from the company so they can plan some special things. So let's make it happen. And we're here. We love you. We mean it. We'll see you tomorrow for Products and Concepts at noon Eastern. And if you need us in between now and then, call us. I know you've got an appointment in the next few minutes.
Yeah. People know that I'm out until 11, and as soon as it's 11, my phone starts to blow up. So that's what I'm going to go deal with. So, all right, guys. See you.
Bye.